Alright, Schlockmeister fans, in the 80s there was a VHS tape on the shelves called Graveyard Shift. It's also known as the Central Park Drifter, and we're going to watch that from this vampire triple feature. Let's check it out. Meet Steven. He's a cab driver.
23 Sullivan Street.
The woman throws a $20 bill at him and runs out of the cab. He goes to retrieve her. They start to make out. He starts to undress her. Right there in the back of the cab. Did I also mention that Steven is a vampire? For no reason whatsoever, here's a strip show.
What the hell are those?
That's the stripper outside after the event. And she's slicing away on this fella.
I'm sorry, Steven.
And Steven confronts that vampire woman. Guess she wasn't supposed to do that.
It was not your time.
I thought if I did it, you'll return.
This is Michelle. She's got some bad news.
They came back positive. We've checked them several times, and unfortunately, there can be no error.
She's got a terminal illness and she's going to die in a few months. They'll take Steven's cab home and then gives him an invite.
I'm having a Halloween party this Friday. I'd really like you to come. There won't be many people there, and they're all very nice.
As she was walking to her house, she collapses. And gets bitten. Steven meets a few thugs.
Give me my money.
He's gonna get his revenge on these guys, though. You can't kill someone who's already dead. A lot of these vampire women have bites on their boobs. And that's Michael taking another feeding. Or, I'm sorry, Steven taking another feeding.
Why did you invite me here?
It's the Halloween party.
After that first time in your cab, I felt something when you drove off.
Michelle does have a husband, though.
Are you in love with this taxi cab driver?
How come you never ask if I'm in love with you?
Michelle runs outside to try to find Steven, and he's feeding on someone in the car. And she gets a little jealous. You learn how he picks his victims.
That is the time I come to my lovers, when they are in the cycle of death. She and the others do not despair when I am there.
Apparently all the women that he's turned are going crazy in the city now, eating everybody in sight. So Michelle's getting a taste of blood now. I believe Steven's going after Michelle's husband here. And look Look out, Steven. She's stuck in a jail cell and has no access to blood, so she starts to suck her own.
I want only to give Michelle what she desires. That is not real.
So I guess this is his vampire lady army. Michelle's husband tried to stake him, failed. This guy's not going to fail. Steven's gone. There's still a few vampires left here, though. I guess it's morning. And they're burning. Michelle's husband.
I did it again, didn't I, honey? Sorry.
He's gonna stake her, but remember the ending of The Omen? Didn't do it. Our last scene in the movie shows Michelle, alive and well, with fangs, and I guess she's taken over Steven's route. Alright, let's talk about Graveyard Shift, although it says Central Park Drifter here. If you look close on the DVD at the bottom, it says Graveyard Shift, which is the way I knew this movie when I think I rented it back in the day, back in the late 80s. I had it on a VHS tape with 3 other movies. And I think on IMDb, the title says Central Park Drifter, but the title of the movie, when you watch it on screen, says Graveyard Shift. I don't even know where the Central Park Drifter comes from, but whatever. Most of the poster art I found, too, was for Central Park Drifter, so who knows. But anyway, the movie itself, it was okay. It started off stronger, and then it just kind of got weaker towards the end, if you ask me. The last half hour just kind of lost me. This movie's kind of all over the place. Basically, we have a taxi cab driver named Steven, who is a vampire. He's a vampire and a taxi cab driver. He's bitten a few women along the way, and I guess has turned them into vampires. Then he meets this woman named Michelle, who apparently has a terminal disease. She finds out, we don't find out what that disease is yet, but she's positive and only has a couple months to live. Apparently that's what this particular vampire Steven does. He only goes after women who are terminal or near death in some way, so I guess he's got a little bit of moral compass there. He's only going to kill women who are going to die anyway, and then he likes them, or he bites them, I should say. He ends up really liking this woman, Michelle, and he wants to start a relationship with her, which he does. He bites her. Even though she's married, she has a husband, and she invites him over for a Halloween party. Kind of strange, I don't know. But ultimately, it seems like some of the vampires start to get minds of their own. I don't want to say minds of their own, but they just start running amok in the city, killing people. And Steven has no control over them, really. And again, the last half hour of this movie just kind of lost me completely, because some characters came and went without even really realizing who they were, what they were, or we never got some resolution. Ultimately, in this movie, at the end, Steven was working with Michelle. I don't know. She was already a vampire, so I don't know what exactly they were going to do together there, but he ends up getting a stake through his heart, through the back, actually. And I think it was Michelle's husband who did it. Michelle's kind of weak at this point. I don't know what exactly was happening. But anyway, Steven died, and then he took Michelle and took her out to, like, I guess, a cemetery or something, and was going to... He apologized. She was, like, unconscious. He apologized to her, said, "I'm sorry, honey. I screwed it up again." Then he was about to kill her with a stake through the heart, and then the police came in and shot him just before he was able to do that, kind of like the end of The Omen. And that's our movie. And in the last scene, I believe it was Michelle. She is, like, alive again now as a vampire, and she gets into a cab. She's now a cab driver. So I guess the circle continues, or the cycle continues. So anyway, that is Graveyard Shift, Central Park Drifter. Again, it just, I don't know, the last half hour, my mind kind of wandered a bit because it was just kind of all over the place. There was violence in this movie. There was bloodletting. There was actually a fair amount of nudity, too, full frontal female nudity as well. It's a cast of virtually no one, though. I didn't recognize anybody in this. And if you look at IMDb, I don't think anybody had a photo, which means they didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But anyway, this movie was floating around on VHS shelves back in the late 80s. I remember seeing it all over the place. Not to be confused with the 1990 Graveyard Shift, which is Stephen King. In fact, if you do an image search for Graveyard Shift, you're going to find that one much more than this one. But anyway, that is Graveyard Shift. Now, I got this on a compilation, or not really compilation, kind of a box set here called the Vampire Triple Feature. It has 2 other movies. Shriek Show put this out, Fiancé of Dracula, and 2 Orphan Vampires, which I think are foreign films, actually, directed by Jean Rollin. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, or even if I got the director correct. Who knows? But anyway, I'll be watching those soon when I think they have subtitles, but whatever. So anyway, that's Central Park Drifter, otherwise known as Graveyard Shift. I'm curious if anybody else has seen this kind of relic from the 80s. Let me know. Leave some comments. Watch it. Bye. Graveyard Shift. Not Stephen King's.